G'day guys, Peter here from Oz Commercial Sewing Machines. Today we're just going to do a revamp quickly on the building or constructing of the industrial sewing machine benches that we have. So here we have the basic framework all just loosely bolted up. You can see these are all just loose. And these bolts down here are just loosely tied, so it's all flexible and movable. Now, what we've got on this side, there are two bolts over here. Okay, and there's one, and there's another two bolts over this side. And you'll see on the front, there's loosely bolted on either side, and there's one over there as well. So that's how I start my construction. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to flip it. So that we can install the foot pedal area. Just to go through everything while we've got it at this stage. Now, when I put those wheels on, it's much easier to put the brakes on. As you can see, there's little locks in there, and you can see if I drop that, put the brakes on, it's locked in. It's not going to go anywhere. So that helps you to tighten the wheel up onto the base. So if I put that there like that, you can now move it freely with the brake off. But you put the brake on, it will find a spot and you can't move it. It's locked in. Okay, so we've measured here and we've measured out here. So the distance between the two legs are equal. So we've tightened this down. So the amount of movement we've got on our bench top when we're putting this on is at this end. So we can move this in or out slightly to be able to get the right measurement. Now these ones, we're going to tighten these up, and these ones once we get the right height and once we get the right width. So this allows us to make these a little bit wider if we need to, or narrower. So these ones can wait, but these ones and that one over there, they're all permanently snugged down now. So we've got the right measurement here onto the other side, so we're good to go. Now let's work on getting all the tabletop ruled out and work out where we're going to put everything. So with this particular machine, it's the 1933B. Now these are the few parts that we're going to need to dig out. So we've got the pitman rod, we've got the knee lift, and we've got the speed controller there. So we need those out of the box so that we can put them on the table and bolt them down before it goes the other way over. So we've got the table out now and we've got it upside down. What we're going to need for this step is just a ruler and a pen. It's up to you whether you do this or not. It just makes it a little bit neater, I think. And I'm very particular about the way I do my tables. So here we go. Okay, so you can see now we've got all our lines ruled out for the basic squareness of the table, and we've got all the little, well, not quite all, but we've got the holes marked for where our bench is going to screw down, or the legs are going to screw onto the top of the table top. So we've got those 4 marks, and we've also got the markings there for the speed controller. Now we'll put the knee lift on shortly once we get everything else sorted. As you can probably see there, I've added all the markings now for the drawers, or the single drawer, sorry. So all we're ready to do now is to start drilling the holes. So now we've got all our holes drilled. So we've got the bench to the leg mounts drilled. That's the speed controller. The other 2 leg mounts, and we've also got the drawer mounts drilled, and also the knee lift. We've got all the drilling done. What we're going to do is go ahead and mount all the parts on the bottom of the table, and then we're almost ready to flip it over. Okay, so now we've got everything mounted to the bottom of the bench that we need to have mounted. So the knee lift is in with the 4 Phillips head wood screws, and we've got the bench leg screws. They're all in. You can see how I've used those lines. Everything's square to the table, so that's why I rule everything up, and everything fits just nicely. So there's the foot control, the speed controller, 4 Phillips head wood screws. Come back over to this side, we've got the 2 screws again, and you can see we're square to the table. And then we've got the drawer. There's 6 tiny little screws holding that drawer in, and yes, it does come all the way up. There are no stops on these drawers. So now we get to flip the table over and start putting things on the top of the table, getting ready to set the height. So there we have the table turned over, ready to start putting things on the top. I'll also do a short little segment on how to construct the thread stand. See bits now on the left hand side of the bench there that we need to put in to the machine gap, and there is the thread stand flat pack. So we'll start now and put some parts into place. So there's all the parts for the thread stand laid out. Now we'll get to putting it together. Firstly, I start by putting this piece into the hole. Gives me something to work with. So you got a washer, then you got the rubber washer which goes against the bench top. Goes down, got another washer and the nut. Grab your big shifter, open it up. And tighten it down. And next we work with this one. We're putting the 2 thread posts on. So grab your first one, take all the washers off, grab one of these, and you can see it's keyed. So make sure that you line up the key spacings. You can see in there that there's a key right there, and there's a key opposite sides, so you make sure that they line up like that. Then grab this piece and set it on top. Then all your washers in the same order that you took them off. You got flat washer, then spring washer, then nut. Then you can just screw those on, and then just tighten that down. Same again for this side. Grab a hold of this, key it correctly, put it in the hole, flat washer, spring washer, then nut. then tighten it down. Now I'm just going to sit this over the top so that's free floating. Now you can do this now or you can do this later. It's up to you when you do this because it's not important right now. I'll just do this now anyway while I've got it open. They are press fit, they're pressure. There's a lot of pressure to push those down. Okay, and then grab your joiner. Okay, there's no right or wrong way, it just depends how you're going to screw it down. Okay, this one needs to be loosened off a little, it's a bit tight to go onto the shaft. So we'll just loosen this off slightly. And that slides down there nicely. There is a stop on some of these. This one has the stop. So now that we're at the stop point, we'll just tighten that up a little bit. Don't want to go too hard just yet. Then we'll put the top half in. And then we'll snug these home. Okay, that's tight. Then we'll get this top one, pull off the rubber top and slide it down. Put the top back on and that can go wherever it goes. Okay, so now we're going to, this is where I put mine. I put it up there. You can put it anywhere you like, but I find that if it's too low, it impedes on the machine when you lay it back. So I like to have it as high as that so that I can lay the machine back without any issues. And then we'll tighten this one up. Okay, so that's fairly tight there now. Now, I straighten these poles up by just bending this back. Just like that. Okay, so they're straight again. Then we'll do this top one. So we're going to line that up so that it's in line with the bottom one. As you're tightening these, you will see it move towards the back. So you may want to start a little bit ahead, or you just move it a little bit as you go. Okay, so that's it. The thread stand is now complete. And we're ready to put the head into the table, and then we'll get the height set. Now, if you haven't got a set of height gauges like I've made, it's probably just as easy to set the height whenever in the whole process. As long as the table is level, it's all good, and as long as you're comfortable at the machine, it's not too high or it's not too low. So now I'll get the head into the table and we'll work on setting the height. And there we have it. Our table is now set to the correct height.